Okay, so today we are going to be starting a new unit called Hands-on Equations. You are going to need a yellow mat, the red and blue pieces, your math notebook, writing tools, and of course your Chromebook and earbuds. So right now I want you to hit pause and go get the stuff. So on your desk, let's start off with your Hands-on Equations yellow mat. And let's talk a little bit about the things that are on our mats. What you have are the red and the blue pieces. So obviously these red pieces are the number cubes. And as you can see from this picture, as you're looking down from above, I should be able to see this top number on top, and that's the number that we are talking about. Now, these blue guys are called pawns. In your Schoology hands-on equation folder, the first pieces of notes that I talk about are these pawns. A pawn is an unknown. I don't know what it stands or represents. But if you notice, this pawn, this pawn, this pawn, they are identical. They are the same size. They are the same shape. They weigh the same. So they have the same value. It is just like a variable. I don't know what it is. I could refer to it as X. So in lesson 1, the primary objective for all of us is to first be able to identify pawns and number cubes, but the whole idea of equations balance one another. So on our worksheet or workbook or however you want to call this here are the first 5 problems. Now, before you write down anything in your notebook, I want us to use the hands-on equation pieces to start off by doing number 1. So let's pretend that this is my hands-on equation mat. What I would like you to do is I want you to take 2 of the blue pawns and put them on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, I want you to put your number cube so you have the 10 facing the ceiling. Okay, so here you have your 2 pawns set up on the left, and you are going to use your left hand on the left-hand side, and you are going to use your right hand on the right-hand side. Believe it or not, there is some brain-based research that goes on with this. If you think of this middle part as like the middle of your body, everything on the left should work the stuff on the left, and everything on the right should work the stuff on the right. And the reason for that is it is a way to engage the left and the right hand side of your brain, which I think is kind of cool if you think about it. So with your eyes at the moment, I can see that there are 2 pawns on the left, and this middle piece here, in fact, is my equal sign. I could kind of put a little box in here and have giant equal sign in here that everything on the left has to equal everything on the right. Well, if that's the case, and I have 2 pawns on my left and they equal 10 on the right, it's pretty safe to say that 1 pawn would equal 5. And what I would do is I would then check my work. So here, if this is 5 and this is 5, then the left-hand side must equal 10. And then over here on the right, I have 10. So 10, in fact, equals 10. I have checked my work, and I know that I'm right. So in your notebook, what you're going to do now is you are going to write number 1. You are going to draw a balance where I have 2 pawns on the left equaling 10 number cube on the right. And what I would then be doing is I would show that 1 pawn equals 5, and my check would be 10 equaling 10. So please pause at the moment. Get out your notebook, and I would like you to make sure that you have all of this written down in your notebook for lesson 1. So please hit pause, do the work in your notebook nice and neatly, and then hit resume. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at number 2. If you look on the left-hand side, it says that pawn plus 2 equals 9. So to the mat. On your mat, you're going to put a pawn, which I drew on the left, plus the number 2. When you just have things next to each other, that means addition. So here we have pawn plus 2 equaling 9. So, what is something plus 2 to equal 9? I'm really hoping that you just said that pawn equals 7. So what I'm going to then do is I'm going to put this value back into my original equation to test it. So I would say 7 plus 2 is in fact 9, and 9 does equal 9. So I know that I'm right. So back to my notebook. I'm going to copy down this equation. I'm going to put pawn equals 7, and I'm going to put my check as 9 equals 9 because I substituted this variable into my equation. I solved the left-hand side and proved that it equals the right. So again, would you please hit pause, copy all this down into your notebook, and then hit play. Okay, so now to number 3. It says 2 pawns plus 3 equals 7. So you are going to take out your 2 pawns and put them on the left-hand side. 2 pawns plus 3 equals 7. So one of the things that you're probably thinking of real fast is the first thing you could do is subtract 3 from each side. And when I take 3 away from 7, I get 4. And if that's the case, and I have 2 pawns left on the left-hand side, 2 pawns equals 4, so 1 pawn must equal 2 because 2 plus 2 is 4. We all know that one. So I'm going to put this piece of information back into my original equation. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7, and 7 does equal 7. I know that I am right, so pawn equaled 2, and my check showed that 7 equals 7 in my equation. So what we're doing is we are one step at a time taking a look at trying to figure out what do these pawns equal. And in every single equation, it changes. So unfortunately, it's never the same. It's always different in every one. So make sure that you have all of this written down. Hit pause and come back, please. So it'd be kind of nice to see if you can set this problem up on your own, on your yellow mats with your hands-on equations, and then hit play again. So you're going to hit pause, you're going to set up this problem all on your own, and then hit play so I can show you if you did it correctly. Okay, so hopefully on the left-hand side you have one pawn, and you have your 8 number cube facing the ceiling. And on the right-hand side, you have 3 pawns. So, if all of my pawns equal the same, what does one pawn have to equal in order to make this sentence true? So, one of the things that you could try is some trial and error. If pawn equaled 1, let's say, on the left-hand side, I would have 1 plus 8. That would equal 9. But on the right-hand side, I would say 1, 2, 3. That would equal 3 if I did the math correctly. And 9 does not equal 3, so pawn does not equal 1. So I could try again and do 2. So if I had pawn equaling 2, 2 plus 8 is 10. And on the right-hand side, I would say 2, 4, 6. 10 does not equal 6, so pawn does not equal 2. I'm going to try it again. What about 3? I could try a 3. 3, if I put a 3 in here for pawn, 3 plus 8, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 3, 6, 9. That still doesn't work. But if you do notice, all of my values keep getting a little bit closer, so I must be heading in the right direction. That is a good sign. So if I start off with then 4, let's try pawn possibly equaling 4. If pawn is 4 and I have 8 as my number cube, 8 plus 4 is 12. And then over here on the right, I have 4, 8, 12. Ooh, I have a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So pawn does equal 12. So what I'm going to do over here is I'll say pawn equals 4, not 12, my bad. But my check is when I say 4 plus 8 is 12, and then 3 4s are 12. So my check is 12 equals 12. And I know I'm right. The beautiful part about all these checks, and really in all of algebra, is I don't ever have to ask a teacher or an adult to see if I'm right. If I do my checks correctly, it will tell me whether I'm right or wrong. So right now, I would like you to try to do number 5 all by yourself, and then you're going to hit play to see whether or not what you did agrees with what I've done. Okay, so hopefully you have 2 pawns on the left, a number cube with a 2 facing up on the left, and on the right you have a number cube of 4. So I'm going to do a little trial and error here. If my pawn equals 1, I'm going to substitute 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. Oh my gosh, look at that. Instantly 4. I know that I'm right. Here is my value for x. Here is my check. Man, I'm getting good at this stuff. So here, pawn equal 1. My check 4 equals 4. Okay, so the basic idea of hands-on equations that we've worked through today is being able to identify that one of these Hershey Kiss looking things on this paper means pawn. It's a variable, and it's what I'm trying to figure out. I have these number cubes, which give me a value in an equation. I've got these balances, where the stuff on the left has to equal the stuff on the right. And I can use a little trial and error, or I can just use some good old-fashioned brain power to figure out what these values are for. So all of this is in your page in your Google or in your Schoology. You and I did 1 through 5 together. I would like to have you take a picture of the work that you did here and upload it to the lesson. And I want you to also do numbers 6 through 10, which is the second page of lesson 1 on the slides. You're going to take a picture of that as well to upload to this first lesson's assignment. And that is your homework for tonight. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask one of the adults in the room or email me. Either way, I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck.